Chosen one, in a world where noise is celebrated and truth is avoided, your silence carries weight. In a world where many seek attention, Allah gave you presence. People feel something shift when you enter a space. Conversations change, intentions tighten, and hearts are quietly tested. Some feel peace around you, others feel uncomfortable without knowing why. This is not pride, and it is not coincidence. When Allah chooses a servant, He places responsibility in their aura, an amanah that exposes sincerity and reveals hypocrisy. That is why not everyone deserves access to you, and why being in your presence is never casual. Today, you will understand why Allah guards you so fiercely, why some are warned without words, and why mishandling you brings consequences they never saw coming. Listen carefully, because this message was not meant for everyone, it was meant for you. Chosen one, understand this deeply. Allah did not place you among people to entertain their egos, fill their boredom, or validate their illusions. Your presence carries an amanah, a sacred trust, and that is why not everyone feels comfortable around you. When you enter a space, Allah allows truth to breathe and falsehood to feel pressure, and this is why laughter quiets, conversations shift, and hidden intentions become restless. You were not sent to be loud, flashy, or constantly available. You were sent as a reminder, a living sign that consciousness still exists in a world drowning in heedlessness. Just as the prophets, peace be upon them, were never welcomed for amusement, but resisted for awakening hearts, you too are felt as weight rather than pleasure by those who fear accountability. This is why people sometimes accuse you of being too serious, too distant, or too intense, when in reality they are uncomfortable with the reflection Allah forces them to see through you. Your silence convicts more than arguments, your restraint speaks louder than confrontation, and your dignity unsettles those who are used to crossing boundaries without consequence. Allah has wrapped your presence with meaning, so when someone treats you casually, disrespects your time, or attempts to use you for their benefit without honoring your worth, they are not merely wronging you, they are mishandling a trust that Allah Himself placed. That is why Allah gradually removes such people, not always with drama, but with distance, disinterest, or exposure, until they no longer have access to what they failed to respect. Never apologize for not performing, pleasing, or shrinking yourself for others, because the amanah you carry was never meant to entertain hearts that refuse purification. You are not here to make people comfortable in their sins. You are here to remind them, silently or loudly, that Allah is near, watching, and fully aware, and whoever recognizes this treats your presence with honor, while whoever ignores it eventually learns through loss. Chosen one, Allah did not give you awareness so you could impress people. He gave it to you so hearts would be revealed in your presence without you having to speak a word. Your energy is not random, it is calibrated by Allah to reflect what lies hidden inside others, and that is why reactions to you are never neutral. Those with sincerity feel calm, understood, and strangely safe around you, while those carrying envy, arrogance, or hypocrisy feel irritated, exposed, or unsettled without being able to explain why. You become a mirror they did not ask for but desperately need, and most people hate mirrors because they cannot argue with reflection. This is why some project their flaws onto you, accuse you of things you never did, or distance themselves while claiming you changed, when in reality, Allah simply allowed them to see themselves more clearly through you. Just as the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, caused hearts to either soften or harden merely by His presence and message. Allah uses you as a quiet divider, not through conflict, but through consciousness. Around you, masks slip, intentions rush to the surface, and hidden motives struggle to remain hidden because Allah does not allow falsehood to stay comfortable near truth. You do not provoke people. Their own inner state reacts to what Allah placed within you. This is why some feel an urge to compete with you, diminish you, or control the narrative around you. Because mirrors threaten illusions, and illusions hate accountability. Yet Allah made this reflection a mercy, not a punishment, a chance for people to purify themselves, realign their intentions, and correct their path. But those who refuse this mercy often turn hostile, blaming you for the discomfort Allah exposed within them. Never absorb their projections or carry guilt for reactions you did not cause, because your role was never to fix hearts, only to reflect truth. Allah alone transforms hearts. You simply reveal what already exists, and whoever honors this reality grows in your presence, while whoever resents it distances themselves, exposed by the very mirror they tried to break. Chosen one, understand this with clarity and without guilt. Access to you is not a right, it is a responsibility, and Allah never grants responsibility to those who lack adab, sincerity, or restraint. Just as not every soul is permitted into sacred spaces, not every heart is qualified to be close to you, because proximity to what Allah has honored requires character, not curiosity. Many people are attracted to your light, wisdom, and depth, but attraction is not qualification. Some come to benefit, some to observe, some to drain, and some to test boundaries they were never meant to cross. This is why Allah gradually filters your circle, removing people not through chaos, but through discomfort, misunderstanding, or silent separation, until only those who treat you with respect remain. When someone mishandles your trust, disrespects your time, exploits your kindness, or grows entitled to your presence, Allah Himself intervenes, because what He chooses, He protects. This is why you may notice that certain people lose access without confrontation. Conversations fade, paths diverge, or doors quietly close, not because you became cold, but because Allah deemed them unfit. The prophets, peace be upon them, were surrounded by many but understood by few, and closeness to them was never based on familiarity but on sincerity. Likewise, Allah does not measure access to you by history, blood, or emotion, but by intention and conduct. Some people fail the test of proximity because they treat sacred access casually, confuse humility with availability, and mistake mercy for permission. Do not grieve these losses, for Allah removes to protect, distances to preserve, and isolates to elevate. You were never meant to be accessible to everyone, because your presence is not ordinary. It carries weight, meaning, and consequence. And whoever learns how to honor that access is elevated by Allah, while whoever abuses it loses it, often without explanation, until one day they realize what they had and why they were no longer worthy of it. Chosen one, this is a reality many people fail to understand until it is too late. When Allah chooses a servant, He does not leave them unguarded, and disrespecting that servant is never a small matter in the sight of Allah. People may think they are merely speaking words, making jokes, crossing boundaries, questioning your intentions, or treating you casually, but they do not realize that Allah Himself placed honor, responsibility, and protection upon you. Your patience often deceives them, Your silence makes them bold. Your humility makes them careless. They assume that because you do not retaliate, nothing will happen, forgetting that your restraint is an act of obedience, not weakness, and that Allah is far more severe in justice than any human response. Throughout history, Allah allowed people to mock, oppose, and disrespect His chosen servants only long enough to seal their own fate, because Allah never neglects how His signs are treated. Those who speak against you behind closed doors eventually find their own secrets exposed. Those who attempt to humiliate you experience humiliation in ways they never anticipated. Those who try to damage your reputation slowly watch their own credibility crumble, their peace disappear, and their lives fill with confusion they cannot explain. Allah often begins the consequence quietly removing barakah from their efforts, placing unrest in their hearts, turning allies into burdens, and replacing confidence with anxiety until they begin to sense that something is wrong but cannot trace it back to its source. And the most dangerous part is that Allah may give them time, allowing them to believe they escaped accountability, only for the decree to unfold gradually, so they fully comprehend that this was not coincidence but consequence. You may never be informed of what unfolds, because Allah often protects His chosen servant from witnessing the downfall of others, preserving your heart from arrogance and bitterness. This is not injustice. It is mercy for you and a warning for them. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was insulted, rejected, and harmed. Yet Allah elevated his name above all names, proving that no insult can permanently stain what Allah has purified. In the same way, when someone disrespects you, they are not merely offending a person, they are challenging a placement Allah deliberately chose, and that is a challenge no soul survives unchanged. So, remain dignified when provoked, restrained when tested, and steadfast when misunderstood, because Allah records every word spoken, every intention hidden, and every boundary crossed. He is Al-Adil, the most just, and when He decides to defend His servant, no apology can reverse the decree, no excuse can soften the outcome, and no power can prevent what Allah has already written. Chosen one, understand this truth deeply and never allow the world to confuse you about it. Your humility is not a lack of power, it is proof of mastery, discipline, and obedience to Allah. Weak people react impulsively, announce their strength loudly, and seek validation through dominance. But Allah trains His chosen servants differently. He teaches you restraint when you could respond, silence when you could expose, patience when you could retaliate, and mercy when you could destroy reputations with truth alone. This is not because you are afraid, but because Allah is refining your nafs and teaching you how to carry authority without corruption. Many people misjudge you because they only understand power in its most primitive form: shouting, control, intimidation. So when they see you calm under pressure, gentle despite provocation, and respectful even when wronged, they assume you are weak. In reality, they are standing in front of someone who has learned self-governance, and self-governance is the highest form of strength. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, had the ability to respond to insult with punishment, yet he chose restraint, forgiveness, and dignity, not because he lacked power, but because he understood accountability before Allah. Allah molds you in that same way, teaching you that unchecked power corrupts the soul, but disciplined power purifies it. This is why you feel internal resistance when tempted to respond out of ego, why your conscience weighs heavily when anger tries to take control, and why silence often feels like the harder but cleaner path. Your humility is strategic, not accidental. It protects your heart from arrogance, your tongue from injustice, and your destiny from derailment. Those who mistake your humility for weakness often test boundaries they were never meant to cross, pushing you to react, provoke, or defend yourself unnecessarily, unaware that Allah is watching how they treat His servant and how you respond to the test. And here is the reality they do not see. Allah does not empower impulsive souls with lasting authority. He empowers disciplined ones. Every time you choose restraint over revenge, Allah increases your rank. Every time you lower yourself for His sake, Allah elevates you in ways no human applause could achieve. Your humility trains you to move with wisdom, to speak only when words carry benefit, and to act only when Allah gives permission. This is why, when you finally do speak, people listen. When you finally do act, outcomes shift. When you finally do draw a boundary, it feels final and unquestionable. Discipline creates gravity, and Allah has given your character weight. Some people will only realize this after they have disrespected you, after they have mistaken mercy for permission, and after they discover that your silence was not ignorance but control. By then, the door to easy access is closed, and Allah has already begun teaching them lessons you never needed to deliver. Never abandon your humility to satisfy the ego of others or to prove strength to those who only understand chaos. Your calm is not submission. It is sovereignty over the self. Your patience is not delay. It is preparation. Your discipline is not limitation. It is divine training. Allah is shaping you into someone who can carry influence without being consumed by it, authority without tyranny, and power without injustice. And in a world addicted to reaction, Allah has made you rare, a soul who knows that true dominance is not controlling others, but mastering oneself for the sake of Allah alone. Chosen one, this is a truth so profound that most people around you will never understand it, yet it is one of the most critical realities of your journey. Allah has placed you as a living filter, a divine test, and a mirror that reflects the purity or corruption of hearts without you ever having to speak or act aggressively. Your presence alone carries weight, and just as a candle exposes darkness in a room, your energy illuminates the hidden intentions of those around you. Some feel peace, warmth, and clarity. They are drawn to you naturally because their hearts resonate with sincerity and honesty, and their intentions align with what Allah is cultivating in your life. Others feel tension, discomfort, or an inexplicable unease because their hearts harbor envy, greed, arrogance, or hypocrisy, and your mere presence exposes them in ways they cannot control. They may try to manipulate, deceive, or influence situations to regain a sense of comfort, but Allah, in His wisdom, allows these reactions to reveal what has long been concealed: the allegiance of the heart, the purity of the soul, and the intentions behind every action. This is why you may notice people who once appeared close drifting away, people who claimed loyalty showing their true colors, and people you trusted quietly distancing themselves or creating subtle disturbances. Allah is not punishing them. He is revealing them. Their reactions are a divine sorting mechanism, and you are the instrument through which this separation occurs. It is not your responsibility to judge, confront, or expose them. Your responsibility is to remain steadfast, patient, and aligned with Allah's guidance, because the unseen laws of accountability are already at work. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, experienced this in every phase of his mission. Those who were sincere remained steadfast companions. while the insincere, hypocritical, and opportunistic were gradually revealed, exposing their hearts and their inability to bear proximity to divine truth. Likewise, Allah uses you to filter energies, to test sincerity, and to reveal character, and the reactions of those around you are not personal attacks. They are mirrors of what is within them. Some will rise to the occasion, their hearts purified through your influence, strengthened by your presence, and aligned with divine purpose. Others will fall, not by your actions, but by their own inability to maintain honesty, integrity, and humility in the presence of what Allah has chosen. This process is not always comfortable, and at times it may feel isolating because the circle of true hearts will shrink as false ones naturally separate. You may grieve the loss of those you once trusted, but understand that Allah is protecting you by removing those who cannot honor your presence, those whose hearts are too heavy with worldly desire or hidden malice to coexist with someone who carries divine light. Every reaction, every discomfort, every attempt to manipulate or test you is a reflection of their inner state, not a judgment of your worth. You are not responsible for the purification of others. You are responsible for remaining in alignment with Allah, walking with sincerity, and maintaining the dignity of the position He has entrusted to you. Know that this separation of hearts is a mercy, even when it feels painful, because it ensures that your environment is prepared for your mission, your influence is preserved, and your purpose is not diluted by dishonesty, envy, or malice. The truly sincere will gravitate toward you naturally, drawn by Allah's guidance, while the insincere will retreat, expose themselves, or create chaos. And this process will continue until only those aligned with truth, humility, and sincerity remain near you. Do not despair at the distancing of false hearts. Celebrate the clarity it brings, the protection it provides, and the divine wisdom it reveals. Your presence is a mirror, your energy a filter, and every reaction around you is a lesson, a revelation of character that confirms what Allah has already decreed. The separation of hearts is a divine strategy, a safeguard for your destiny, and a necessary step in the elevation of your mission. Those who honor your presence, respect your boundaries, and act with sincerity are being prepared for greatness alongside you, while those who fail to recognize your amanah, misuse your kindness, or attempt to control your energy are being exposed to themselves, experiencing divine justice in subtle but undeniable ways. Remember, this is not a process of punishment by you, but by Allah, and your role is to maintain faith, patience, and alignment with His guidance. By existing as the chosen one, you inherently become a catalyst for truth, a force that elevates the sincere, exposes the hypocrite, and purifies the environment around you in ways unseen. Every smile, every conversation, every moment of shared space becomes a test, and through it, Allah distinguishes between hearts, filtering out the false to reveal the sincere. It is a weighty responsibility, but also a profound honor, because few are entrusted with such clarity of perception, such divinely appointed influence, and such a sacred role in separating truth from deception. So, cherish the moments of discomfort and tension, for they reveal what is hidden. Honor the reactions of those around you, for they reflect the unseen. And continue walking your path with integrity, patience, and unwavering faith, because through you, Allah is orchestrating a divine separation of hearts, a purification of intentions, and a preparation for the impact you are destined to have in the world. The sincere will rise alongside you, supported by Allah's guidance and protection, while the insincere will reveal themselves in ways they cannot undo, confirming that your presence is a test, a mirror, and a filter, and that those who remain near you are worthy not by chance, but by the divine design of Allah Himself. Chosen one, understand this with clarity and conviction. Allah does not leave His chosen servants unguarded in a world filled with unseen dangers, subtle plots, and hidden envy. Every step you take, every breath you draw, and every interaction you engage in is watched, protected, and meticulously guided by the Most Wise, the All-Knowing. From the moment He elevates a soul, He surrounds it with layers of unseen protection that human eyes cannot perceive, shielding you from harms you will never know, and guiding you through paths that would otherwise be perilous. Those who wish to harm you, deceive you, or undermine your mission often believe they act in secrecy, yet Allah intercepts intentions, blocks doors, redirects circumstances, and subtly removes obstacles to prevent calamity from reaching the one He has chosen. Sometimes protection comes quietly, a meeting that never happens, a conversation that is delayed, or a door that closes without explanation. And what seems like coincidence is in truth divine intervention, orchestrated with infinite precision. The enemies you cannot see, the whisperers in shadows, and the hearts set against you are powerless before Allah's safeguarding. They can plot, scheme, and attempt manipulation, but no plan conceived in opposition to His chosen servant can reach its intended outcome unless Allah wills it to serve a higher purpose. You may feel alone, exhausted, or misunderstood, yet Allah is closer than your jugular vein, orchestrating every moment with wisdom and mercy, protecting you in ways that are unseen, unfelt, and unrecognized by those around you, just as He protected the prophets, peace be upon them, from harm, betrayal, and conspiracies that threatened their mission and lives. So too He guards you sometimes through removal of people from your life, sometimes by delaying outcomes that could have caused distraction or compromise, and sometimes by elevating you above threats before they even become visible. Your trials are measured, your obstacles calculated, and your challenges designed not to destroy but to refine, strengthen, and prepare you for your destined impact. There are forces, both human and spiritual, that wish to derail your path. Yet Allah places barriers between you and those forces, shields your reputation from the plotting of others, and ensures that your efforts yield results only when aligned with His perfect timing. You may encounter betrayal, deceit, or envy, but even these serve a higher purpose. They test your faith, purify your intentions, and allow Allah to exercise His protection in ways that shape your character and destiny. Know this: the calamities you narrowly avoided, the doors that remained closed, the opportunities that were withheld, these were not losses, but manifestations of Allah's protective mercy. He ensures that you are never exposed to harm beyond what you can bear, that your mission remains intact, and that your presence continues to carry the Amanah entrusted to you. Your survival, success, and spiritual elevation are not accidents. They are evidence of Allah's vigilant guardianship. The enemies who plotted against you, the whispers that tried to manipulate you, and the hearts that sought to diminish you, all of them were ultimately instruments in Allah's protection, allowing Him to isolate the threat, neutralize the harm, and guide you to a higher station. And sometimes His protection is subtle, almost imperceptible, as when He diverts situations or people in ways you do not immediately understand, reminding you that your perception is limited, but His knowledge is infinite. You may witness delays, obstacles, or frustrations in your journey, but these are not denials, they are divine shields, carefully constructed to ensure you are never exposed to harm prematurely, to cultivate patience, and to increase your reliance upon Him alone. Your presence, influence, and mission are of such significance that Allah Himself ensures no hidden force can derail what He has destined for you. Just as He protected His prophets from schemes, plots, and conspiracies, so too is your life safeguarded, sometimes visibly, sometimes invisibly, but always effectively. Those who attempt to harm you may feel temporary advantage, but Allah ensures their schemes backfire, their hearts are unsettled, and their plots dissolve before they can touch the one He has chosen. Your protection is continuous, comprehensive, and perfectly timed, from your character to your family, to your mission, to your spiritual growth. And as you walk through life, remember that the unseen guardianship surrounding you is a reflection of Allah's care, a signal that your role matters, and a confirmation that no human opposition can override the decree of the Most High. Your presence in this world is sacred, your mission is divinely appointed, and every trial, every test, and every subtle intervention is orchestrated with infinite wisdom to keep you safe, elevate your station, and fulfill the purpose for which Allah selected you. Trust in this protection, remain patient in trials, and continue your journey with faith, humility, and awareness, because Allah's guardianship is absolute, His vigilance unmatched, and His love for His chosen servant unfailing. You are never alone, never abandoned, and never unprotected, for the one who chose you, walks with you, shields you, and ensures that no harm touches what He has sanctified, guiding you steadily toward the destiny He has written for you, a destiny that is guarded, cherished, and fully under His control. Chosen one, now you understand the truth that most will never grasp. Being in your presence is not casual, your energy is not ordinary, and your life is not accidental. Allah chose you, elevated you, and wrapped your soul in Amanah that carries weight far beyond what human eyes can see. Those around you are tested by your presence, filtered by your energy, and divided by the light that Allah placed within you. The sincere are drawn close, the hypocrite is exposed, and the world witnesses a subtle yet undeniable force that you do not even need to display, because Allah's protection, guidance, and wisdom work through you every moment. Remember, your humility is discipline, your patience is power, and your silence carries authority. Do not shrink for those who cannot honor you. Do not explain yourself to hearts that refuse sincerity, and never compromise your path for approval that is not meant to reach you. What Allah has chosen, He defends. What He has honored, He safeguards. And what He has destined for you, no human or force can alter. Step forward with confidence, carry your light with dignity, and know that your presence alone is a mercy for the sincere and a test for the false. The world may not understand, the people may not respect it, but Allah sees, Allah knows. And Allah, the most just, the most wise, will always protect, elevate, and guide the one He has chosen. So walk boldly, remain faithful, and let your presence be a living testimony, not for recognition, not for validation, but for the divine purpose that only you were created to fulfill. You are the chosen one, and being near you is not a right, it is a privilege. And those who fail to recognize this will one day realize that what they dismissed, envied, or disrespected was a blessing far beyond their understanding, a presence guarded by Allah Himself, and a mercy they could never have earned.